We've explored the UN's triumphs, its tragedies, its defining moments, but behind the grand speeches and the high stakes diplomacy lies a world of bizarre traditions, shocking secrets, and just plain weird stories. Today, we're taking a tour of the UN's stranger side. These are 10 weird, quirky, and bizarre facts that reveal the hidden, human, and often absurd reality of the United Nations. Hey everyone, I'm Noah Zerbe. I'm a professor of global politics at Cal Poly Humboldt, and this is Global Insights. Let's start with the strange but true traditions of the UN General Assembly. Every year, the first country to speak at general debate is Brazil. Why? It's not written in any rule book. In the UN's early years, when many nations were hesitant to break the ice, Brazil consistently volunteered to go first. That act of diplomatic courtesy solidified into an unwritten rule, a charming tradition that continues to this day. The UN podium has seen some epic feats of endurance. As we discussed, Fidel Castro holds the record for the longest speech at 4 hours and 29 minutes in 1960. But what about the shortest? That honor goes to the president of Costa Rica, who in 1957 stood up and said in Spanish, "I have nothing to say," and then sat down. His entire speech lasted just 15 seconds. You may not think of it this way, but the UN headquarters is home to a massive, priceless collection of art. Over the decades, member states have gifted hundreds of works of art to the organization. This includes a stunning stained glass window by Marc Chagall, a golden mosaic by Norman Rockwell, a massive section of the Berlin Wall, and even a Foucault pendulum. This eclectic collection has turned the diplomatic headquarters into a surprising global gallery, and one that you can actually tour. Beyond the quirky traditions and surprising gifts, the United Nations is full of strange political history that reveals where power actually lies. The UN officially has 6 languages: Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. But the day-to-day work of the UN Secretariat is conducted in just 2, English and French. Arabic wasn't even added as an official language until 1973, and only after intense lobbying by Arabic-speaking nations, a clear reflection of the shifting tides of geopolitical influence. The power of the Permanent Five was felt from the very beginning. The first candidate for Secretary General was the respected Canadian diplomat Lester Pearson. But he was seen as too pro-Western by the Soviet Union, which promptly vetoed his candidacy. The P5 then compromised on the second choice, Trygve Lie of Norway, showing the UN's top job has always been shaped by great power politics. Who gets to be a member of the United Nations is a story filled with its own oddities. In the United Nations history, only one country has ever voluntarily left the organization: Indonesia. In 1975, President Sukarno angrily withdrew Indonesia to protest his rival Malaysia gaining a seat on the Security Council. Just 1 year later, after a military coup, the new government of Indonesia quietly asked to be readmitted, ending the UN's only ever resignation. The UN's membership roster is a strange beast. There are 193 member states, but also 2 permanent observer states, the Holy See or the Vatican, and Palestine, which can participate in debates but not vote. Finally, let's look at some of the most bizarre and shocking stories where the world of diplomacy collides with reality. For decades, one of New York's biggest headaches was UN diplomats racking up millions of dollars in unpaid parking tickets. Shielded by diplomatic immunity, they could park wherever they wanted with no consequence. At its peak in the early 2000s, the unpaid fines totaled over $18 million, creating a bizarre, long-running feud between the UN and its host city. The UN's very first peacekeeping-style mission was the United Nations Truce Supervision Organization, or UNTSO, created in 1948 to monitor the ceasefire in the first Arab-Israeli war. It was meant to be temporary. Today, more than 75 years later, The UNTSO is still operating, making it the longest-running peace mission in history and a sobering reminder that temporary UN missions can last for generations. This is perhaps the most shocking fact of all. Kurt Waldheim, who had served as the fourth Secretary General of the United Nations from 1972 to 1981, was later exposed of having been an intelligence officer in the Nazi Wehrmacht during World War II, a fact he concealed for decades. The revelations came out after his term at the United Nations during his campaign for the Austrian presidency, creating a massive scandal that forever tainted his legacy and that of the United Nations itself. So, from the tradition of Brazil speaking first to the shocking secrets of a Secretary General's past, the United Nations is far from the stuffy, formal institution it often appears to be. Together with the surprising facts we uncovered in the last video, these stories reveal both the serious and the strange sides of the UN. They show us that the UN is not just a collection of states, but a deeply human organization, full of the strange contradictions that come with it. But I'm curious, what's your favorite fun or quirky fact about the United Nations? And if I've missed something, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.